For more on this, let's bring in New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew, member of the House Judiciary Committee. I want to start with the reaction to what we just heard from Congressman Auchincloss. In what ways would you say are 50 years of foreign policy experience helpful, and how is it a hindrance?
Well, I've got to be honest with you. I do agree they should have more access to the stockpile without question. But I've also got to be honest. This is what is happening in Israel. What is happening in Gaza is the result of weak leadership. Weak in the way that they left Afghanistan. Weak in the way that they took off the oil sanctions on Iran, which really empowered Iran to export more terrorism around the world, in Israel and in the Mideast. Weak in the way that they dealt with Putin at the very beginning when he was starting to mass troops in Afghanistan. Immediately, the president should have said, this is unacceptable, just as President Trump did, and you cannot do this, and it would have never happened. And we have to be careful that he doesn't get weak in Israel, because he's trying to appeal as well to the Palestinians, and especially the people in Hamas, as well as others within his party. His party is.
Well, let me ask you. Wait, one second, Congressman. Now, I can understand that you're saying that the president is trying to perhaps appeal to the Palestinian people, but you're saying that he's appealing to the terrorists, the Hamas terrorists.
Let me clarify that. He's appealing to the Palestinian people and some who support Hamas within his own party if he's not careful. The ceasefire is good because we are bringing innocents back home. But it's also something we've got to realize. Hamas is not doing this because they're good people. They're bad people. They've done the wrong thing. They're evil people. They're doing it because they're regrouping, they're rearming, and they're making sure that they'll be stronger when they get back. They have a reason that they're doing all this. They have a reason that they've kept these hostages. They should have released them all at once. So we have to be careful as we go through this process.
Definitely a delicate process for sure. Now, I want to rewind a bit, because you said that there are people in the president's own party that support Hamas. So that would mean somebody either in his cabinet, or you've got people in Congress that support the terrorists, are you saying?
There are people in Congress that absolutely support organizations that are linked to Hamas. There are people in Congress. I'll put it to you this way. We had a resolution that came up in Congress that said, do we want to make sure that we do not enrich uranium, that we do not allow Iran to have nuclear weaponry, essentially. And that resolution was supported by a little less than 100 people on the other side of the aisle. The vast majority were on the other side of the aisle, in that they didn't support the resolution to limit Iran. That's unbelievable in today's times. There's no question that there are some, and we censured one of them. I mean, it's real. And even some of the Democrats voted to censure. There are forces within the Democratic Party that do not agree with our support of Israel. There's no question about it.
Well, I'm going to move on. Let me go here with this Fox News poll. I want to share you. If I have time, I'll come back to another one of your comments. There's a Fox News poll, and here it is. It's on U.S. support for Israel. When it comes to Israel, the United States is too supportive. 30% of the pollers said. Not supportive enough is 21%, and 45% saying the U.S. support for Israel is about right. Okay, and Congressman, that each year the U.S. already sends more military aid to Israel than any other country. Should President Biden continue to back Israel in this war with Hamas?
He should continue to back them. We all should continue to back them. They are one of our very greatest allies, and we have to stand strongly with them. I would point one thing out. When we look at those numbers and we talk about support for Israel, let's remember the amount of money we've sent to Ukraine. If we send this next tranche of money to Ukraine, we will have almost spent as much in the last year in Ukraine as money we have given to Israel since the 1940s, 80 years in 1 year. So I think that we have been supportive of Israel. We should continue to be supportive of Israel, as we have with other countries that fight and defend freedom. If we want to have any freedom and any peace in the Mideast and any civilization, we are absolutely going to rely upon Israel.
Should Prime Minister Netanyahu stick to his mission to annihilate Hamas?
Yes, I do believe in that strongly. You know, if you ask people after 9/11, should we make sure to get every single human being who is responsible for the death and destruction that they brought to the United States of America and to New York, we all came together and said yes. Peace through strength.
Understood. Understood, sir. At peace. Repeat that. I'm sorry. My audio broke up. Repeat your phrase, sir.
No country is ever attacked because it is too strong. We need to be strong. If we are weak, we create war.
What about the innocent people? What about I know this is part of war, unfortunately, but what about the innocent folks inside Palestinian who are the Palestinians inside Gaza who are being mistreated by Hamas as well, and they're being used as human shields. So if the fighting resurrects, then they are annihilated right alongside Hamas. What do you think about that?
We have to be laser-like and make sure that we go after Hamas and try to reduce any innocent victims that are involved. War is horrible. It's awful. And Israel is trying to do that. They have taken more steps, as many steps as possible. You know, when Hamas puts their center of activity underneath the hospital, when they cut the heads off of babies, when they put babies on fire, when they rape, abuse, and kill women and parade them around, this is not something that we're used to. It's something that we cannot tolerate. Arthel, if we're not strong now, we are going to even be in more trouble in our future years. If we stay strong now, the future will be brighter for all of us and more peaceful.
Definitely acts of barbarism on display October 7th. It was horrific. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, I appreciate you joining us today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
President Biden praising Qatar for its role in the hostage negotiations. But the Arab nation is critical precisely